So I had this conversation the other day with a client who was interviewing me. They were a referral from somebody else. They were also talking to a couple other agents, and they were also talking to a brokerage in town that's kind of known for discounting, kind of doing a flat fee commission thing. I want to talk about the differences for a minute so that you can make an informed decision. I want to tell you up front that I think there is a place for everybody in this business. There's a place for all types of agents and all types of brokerages. While I have my own opinion because of the results that I see, I'm not really saying one is empirically better than the other. It's really what's just best for you. So, this client was interviewing different agents, and the concept came up of, well, how much do you charge for a commission? So the first thing to know, number one, is that commissions in general are 100% negotiable. There is no fixed commission. While historically commissions have been 6 or 7% during the pandemic, they were probably more likely to be 5%. And that was largely because we were selling properties so fast, there wasn't any time to do any marketing. And even in my situation, I felt like if I wasn't going to spend the money on marketing and I wasn't going to hold the property for 60 or 90 or 120 days, then rather than me take the extra money, it was a good idea to give that back to my clients. So I used to do that during that pandemic, during the crazy sales market we had. When I got into the business in 1987, our average time on the market was 10 months. And which means once I took a property, started marketing it, I had to be prepared to spend my own money to market that property for 10 months in order to hopefully get a sale. And I say hopefully because in that market, only about 20 or maybe 30% of the properties that we listed sold. It was a total buyer's market. The interest rate was 11, 12, 13%. The average price was $50,000, $55,000. That was what life was like back in 1987. Okay, so it's a different market now. Still a seller's market right now, but what's interesting is that we probably sell around 60, 70, 80% of the homes, 85% of the homes that are listed. I sell 100% of the homes that I'm asked to sell, by the way. So during 2019, during 2020 and 2021, even into 2022 a little bit, we sold for sure 100% of the homes we were asked to sell. I mean, the market in general, right? My number has still always been 100%. I sell every home that I'm asked to sell. But the market was selling about 100%. That's atypical. Right now, that number is probably closer to about 80%. And when I got in the business originally, like I said a minute ago, it was 20%. So the thing about real estate commissions is while they're completely negotiable, they're also pay for performance. The only way that we get paid as an agent is if we actually accomplish the goal that we set with you to sell your home for a certain price and certain terms. So are there times and are there situations where we're going to spend our own dollars, our own marketing, our own time to market a home and then that home ends up not selling? Or the owner decides maybe it's not the right time for me to sell. Or the owner says, you know what, I can't get the price I was hoping I was going to get. I decided I'm going to keep it or I'm going to rent it out. Yeah, that happens all the time. And in that case, what happens to the marketing dollars that we spend? Well, they're gone. The reason I bring that up is this. My experience is that agents who are willing to cut their commissions or brokerages that are interested in doing it for a flat fee will do that because they are putting $0 into the marketing. They have no risk. They will come out, sign the documents, put a sign in your yard, which costs $50, $60, hold an open house, which costs no dollars, put it on the internet, which costs no dollars, post pictures on social media. They'll take pictures with their cell phone or their company will provide spotlight tours or somebody that will take pictures for free, not the highest quality pictures. They won't do all the things that they're supposed to do that they need to do to get your home maximum value. They'll do that because you kind of give them no choice, frankly. When you ask somebody to do it at a reduced commission, then the marketing dollars is where they're going to take that commission reduction from. So let me explain. So let's use 6% as an example really quickly. So if you hire an agent, if you hire me to sell the home at 6%, what's going to happen first of all is that 6% is going to get split 3% to my brokerage and 3% to the buyer's brokerage. Whoever brings the buyer, whatever agent and broker brings that buyer, is where that buyer's agent commission is going to go. So we'll say that's an even split 3 and 3. On my side, about a third, about 1% goes to my brokerage and my office expenses, just my cost of doing business, like access to the MLS and my NAR dues and my UAR expenses and just the cost of doing business, having an office, working with a broker, not talking about all the marketing, all the basics, but just having a business, right? About 1% or about a third of the commission we charge goes to those expenses. Now, the other 2/3 is usually split like this. In my business, about another third of it, about 1% is reserved for marketing. So what that means is super proactive marketing. I mean, virtual tour, really high-end photography, really great targeted social media campaigns that are a weekly and an ongoing weekly and monthly expense. And the longer we have the listing for sale, the more money I spend there. Agent to agent marketing campaigns, direct mail campaigns, postcard campaigns, international magazines, on and on and on and on. There's, about 75 different ways that I market a house, and each one of those costs money. So depending on the house and the situation, we might shoot a really high-end custom video using aerial drone photography, and we might do it once or twice just to make sure we get exactly what we want, and that's a multi-$1,000 expense. If you decide not to sell your home, do I get that money back? No. So that's the risk, right? That's the risk we take as agents. So then the other third, so we've got a third that goes to brokerage expenses and my cost of doing business, a third typically that goes towards the marketing of your home, or about a third, it varies depending on the situation. And then the other third is the way I feed my wife and my kids, right? This is the reason I'm in business, is to be able to earn a living and make a profit. So that's kind of how that money's split up. The other third goes to the buyer. They have their business expenses, they have their work with the buyer, they have, the time and the money and the energy and the investment they're spending there. So that's how that split up. So if you were to ask an agent like me to reduce their commission, what part do you think we're going to cut out? We can't cut out the brokerage expenses and the cost of doing business. That goes to the broker. And we can't ideally cut out the part that we're doing this to feed our families. So what's going to take the biggest hit? The biggest hit is going to be the money that they spend marketing your house. So what does that mean to you? If they spend less money or no money marketing your house, are you going to get more buyers or fewer buyers? Are you going to get better buyers or least qualified buyers? You can have more eyeballs on your home that turn into virtual showings, that turn into watching the video, that turn into I want to come see the house live. They come see the house live, they fall in love with it, that turn into offers, that turn into a closing. The fewer eyeballs you have, the less likely you're going to get a buyer. And there's something even more important than that. I'm not looking for a buyer. I'm looking for the buyer. I'm looking for a specific buyer who's willing to pay you the maximum amount of money for your home. And that demographically looks, or like from an avatar standpoint, looks like somebody who has a specific need for the amenities that your home has in the location your home is in, for the size, bedrooms, bathrooms, price that you're in, that has the move-in date need that you need to move out by, that will time it just right for you and are excited and motivated, qualified, ready, able, willing to buy your home. That's who I'm looking for, not just a buyer. There are 9,500 other agents in this town who are working with multiple buyers. It's great. We want that competition. We want them to come see your house. But those are a buyer. I'm looking for the buyer. And the way we're going to find the buyer is to get really aggressive and assertive, proactive, and go decide what that person looks, lives like, feels like, works, where they work, how they act, where they hang out, and then direct our marketing toward that person. So here's the key. When you're asking, or when you have Aunt Mary who says, yeah, I'll do it for 4%, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to probably do two things. One, they're not going to pay the buyer's agent a 3% commission, which is going to reduce the motivation of the buyer's agent. But it's also, not just from that standpoint, it's also going to make it much, much harder for the pros in this town who are working with buyers to show your home. So I recorded a video that explains that situation and why you should never do that, and how not only does it demotivate all the other agents, it makes them jump through a bunch of other hoops that makes it really, really difficult for them to even show your house in the first place. Forget their motivation. So that's number one, is they're going to reduce that side. But number two, if they're doing it at 2%, you think they can't cut their broker out. The reason I'm at Berkshire Hathaway is because of all the relocation business and all the marketing department and all the legal and all the development and everything that I get by being a part of the Berkshire Hathaway family, I get. But it costs me more to do that. So if you're with a flat fee brokerage that they don't get it, well, then they don't have any partners in the business anyway. You're missing all that extra stuff that you would get. Like Berkshire Hathaway is, I think, the number 4 most respected brand in the country. Berkshire Hathaway was mentioned in, or was a factor in, way more than 50% or 60% of all of the real estate conversations that took place online last year in 2022. That's a big deal. That's more volume, more eyeballs, more traffic, more people that come to your house, right? So that see your house, that want to show it, that want to end up writing an offer. Just got to remember that if anything that they take away from that side of the equation, they're not going to not feed their family, and they're not going to not pay for the services they get from their broker. What they're going to do is cut out the marketing. And when they cut out the marketing, they don't do the proactive work that they're supposed to do. Who does that hurt? It hurts you. It hurts your price. And you never know, because you might go with a flat fee brokerage and all of a sudden, boom, your house sells and you're good. But you don't know what you could have got if you would have retained an agent who would have proactively and aggressively marketed your house to the most amount of buyers possible. So I think there's a place for everybody in this business. You can tell I'm probably a little passionate about this, and I've seen the results of what happens, like a client I just closed last week who was with a flat fee brokerage first, and because of the mistakes that were made along the way, cost him a little over $180,000 in his sales price, and I think probably somewhere around $60,000 or $80,000 in actual profit they cost him because of the mistakes they made along the way. And he didn't know that until it was too late. So I see those kind of mistakes and I get a little bit passionate about not wanting to see you make those mistakes too. So, okay, that is a soapbox and a sermon. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. There's a reason why I do not discount my commission, because it's the best thing for you. Okay, and there's a reason why we don't work as a flat fee brokerage, because it's the best thing for you. So if you have questions, comments, ideas on that, feel free to chime out in the comments. Hit the subscribe button. What am I supposed to say? Like pound that subscribe button, all that stuff. I'm just kidding. Just do what you want to do, but I'd love to talk with you sometime if you have any questions or comments. Reach out, let me know how I can help, okay?